Aaron Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Hey everyone, Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle here with you. It's about 9:15 on your Friday night, and we're here to talk about some weather, so thanks for joining me. You've come to the right place, and there is a lot to talk about. I can tell that Facebook isn't notifying anybody that I'm going live. I'm so irritated. So I got to figure that out, figure out why that's happening, but that's neither here nor there. I'm glad those of you folks that are here, you got notified. So we'll figure all that out. Facebook kind of changed some things. They're always changing things for creators like myself to make things more difficult. So I just got to roll the punches, right? Anyway, I see Melissa's already sent me some stars tonight. Thank you, Melissa. And Sherry, I see you as well. And looks like Brittany's in the house with some stars. Thank you, ladies. Jennifer, you're in it. I see it. I appreciate it. So if you guys want to play the stars game, to the very bottom where you leave a comment, use the little stars button, and Facebook will shoot me some. Chayton's dropping it with a 2-week streak. Way to go. Now, I need you to hang with me because just like the last few nights, if you haven't joined us, it's a lot to digest. I feel sorry for the guys on TV because they have 3 minutes and 30 seconds to cram it down your throat. I try to cram it down in under 30 minutes. I mean, good grief, because there's just so much I want to show you. And if you have an interest in weather, you've come to the right place because I tell you all the intricacies and the reasons for it and the ins and outs and all that kind of stuff. We do like a little weather classroom 101 sort of when we do these live broadcasts. So hopefully you've got a little time to kill. You got a nice beverage. Maybe it's a glass of wine. Maybe it's a little something harder. You're going to join with me. Shane, I see with a couple hundred stars. David, thank you. Rachel's in the house also. Appreciate you as always. Montez, I got you. All right, so right, I see you, Marty. Okay, so let's do it. Let's jump on into the fun stuff here for tonight. I know why you're here. By the way, you guys on YouTube, thanks for checking in. Tammy from Blair, Perry's checking in. Let's see, Kilgore from Little Axe, Jim, as always. He's just hoping for a better forecast. Joe, I see you. Cindy, I see you. Thank you. Nancy, I see you. All right, so thank you for the stars. Let's do it. Let's talk about the weather, right? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start you off as what I always like to start off with. We work our way down from the top. So we start top down, right? This is opposite of everything else in life. Everything else in life, you have to have a good solid foundation. You build upwards. In weather, you build downwards. It's total opposite, but it works. So bear with me here. So we're going to take a look at the jet stream pattern. This is the upper levels at 500 millibars. So we're looking at 18,000 feet, something like that. And what we're watching for is the jet stream, which rolls between these lines. You see how these lines are close together? And the jet stream, the winds flow in these lines. So as they kind of go around, they do this section, right? So that's kind of the way things go. And they come in around areas of low pressure and they spin up. And they go like this direction. So kind of give you an idea in case you're not used to seeing these type of maps. Now the colors represent energy or lift in the atmosphere. In other words, that kinetic energy that we need to produce some clouds and precipitation if we have enough moisture. Well, let's put this into motion, see what happens, what's coming our way. We're going to stop you on Saturday morning. What do we have here? We've got a little disturbance here. So this is an upper level disturbance. So this is what's going to help to bring us some cloud cover and some rain around the state. And then that'll also produce a little bit of snow for some folks. It won't be, I don't think, much of a big deal, but we'll talk about that as well. Once that moves on by, I want to show you overall. We're in a kind of a westerly jet stream flow, but look up north. You see this spiraling motion going up here into Canada. That's a polar vortex, and that's going to be bringing in some bitterly cold air all of next week. At the same time, you see this little batch of energy coming in from the southwest of us here by Thursday afternoon. That is a storm system that will likely be a pretty significant winter storm as it's starting to look in the model data for later next week. We've seen the signals off and on for the last few days. They haven't really been consistent enough to give me confidence. Tonight's the first night where I have at least some confidence that we're going to get something out of it. It can either be a little bit of rain, freezing rain, or snow. So we're talking about ice or snow potential, even both is possible on the table. When you're dealing with Arctic air, all bets are on the table. So that'll move through later next week. The polar vortex gets cranking right over Winnipeg. Those poor people, woof, they're going to die up there in those cold temperatures. I mean, not literally, but, it's just that kind of cold. And actually, it is, joking aside, that kind of cold is deadly. And I'm sure there will be some people that do lose their life that are either trapped outside in the cold or can't stay warm. That's always a side part of these types of winter outbreaks of Arctic air. Now, across the globe, in Siberia and Russia, they know how to do this year in and year out. But we're the U.S. and we just don't like this kind of stuff. And even Canada doesn't even like that kind of stuff. But regardless, that polar vortex moves across the Great Lakes. We're kind of stuck into this pattern here. And another storm system kind of moves through here in the southern plains by Valentine's Day, believe it or not. Then that scoots on by, and we got another one coming in through after that toward the 18th, and maybe even a final one coming in here for the 21st of the month, a big one. So that is a lot of potential precipitation in the form of some, rain, sleet, and snow. So let's take a quick look at what that looks like and temperatures, and then we're going to get to the local statewide view and see what you can expect this weekend and onward. So there's the first little system that moves on by. That scoots on out of here. We're going to watch the secondary system coming on in. By the way, these surface highs just keep building in from Canada. So there you see some precipitation breaking out. This is for Thursday and Friday here across the central and southern plains. And that moves on out. And then we've got another one that comes in here. That's for the late Valentine's Day, Valentine's evening. So maybe a little bit of snow. Maybe we're going to do a little Netflix and chill. So with some snow outside. How about that? And then another one for the 17th. I mean, goodness. And then finally, this last one coming in could be a doozy on the 21st. That looks like a nasty one. Now, keep in mind, it's just one model. We're looking way out there. So this is going to change. Sometimes these systems they're phantom. They come and go. Sometimes the signal gets weaker, and sometimes it gets stronger, more consistent. It's one of those things we'll have to watch for and look for some trends. But that's the bigger picture of things. Now, as far as temperatures go, again, if you're late and you haven't really seen or been paying attention, see the purple colors? That represents stuff that's minus 20 to minus, actually, once you get into the white, we're looking at minus 30 and minus 40 to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Not Celsius, but Fahrenheit. So these temperatures up here in Canada are brutal. Now, you can see that purple stuff goes all the way down to Kansas by early next week on Tuesday. As I keep putting this into motion for you into Wednesday and Thursday, look at it. Just kind of keeps building southward. As we head into later in the week, you still get more cold air that just keeps piling on in. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm now to Thursday the 18th. We're still going forward in time. I'm at the end of the forecast period, which is February the 21st, and the country, although moderating by that point, is still in the deep freeze with 20s across the majority of the country. Wow, I mean, that is some nasty cold weather. So we don't get these kind of cold, long, prolonged outbreaks like this that often, but this is definitely going to be one of those. Okay, so now let's get into the details. Again, I told you I have a lot to talk about. I want to give you the big picture first, in case you're traveling or, if you had something of concern you wanted to kind of look at. Now, we're going for Oklahoma here as we head into the weekend for this upcoming Saturday morning. We have a system moving on by us, that first one. And you do see some rain on the map, but if the model's trying to produce a little bit of snow mixed in, especially across the northern counties. I don't think it'll accumulate to anything. Even in eastern Oklahoma is trying to produce a little bit of snow mixed in with the rain. So if you do see a few flakes, don't get too excited. Unless I'm completely wrong, I think we're going to be just a couple of degrees above freezing for that to happen. And it's going to be a close call, but I think it's just going to be too warm by a hair. I mean, we're literally splitting hairs. As we head from that point forward, we're dry the rest of Sunday. Let me give you an example of what the forecast sounding looks like for 9 a.m. on Saturday. So the model has a lot of lift in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. This is these lines right here. It's called omega. And it's all mid-levels. Great. And it's in the snow growth layer, which is right here. Great. I'm thinking, whoa, we're going to get some heavy snow out of this, right? Then you look down at the temperature profile. It gets above freezing once you head to about 1,000 meters up in the atmosphere, up in the sky. And then the problem is that's when it melts over to rain, and it stays rain all the way down the surface. We're 37 over 38. So the forecast sounding is throwing in snow as a potential. I guess you can have some snowflakes that survive this really long trek down. It's just really hard to do so. So that's why I'm going just, this close. But I'm going to keep it rain here in Oklahoma City. Nothing substantial as far as that goes. I will show you, though, just for fun, if I'm completely wrong, this is kind of what the models are outputting for the snow. And it's just maybe it's got a 2-inch marker, but, something that may hit the ground and accumulate briefly across somewhere here in central Oklahoma. More likely up here across northern Oklahoma, although it has 1 to 2 inches there in Kansas. And then it's got this heavy batch here in eastern Oklahoma, ridiculous numbers around 4 inches. But again, I think it's just going to be a little too warm. But hey, if I'm wrong, they're going to have a little bit of snow in eastern Oklahoma for your Saturday evening time frame. Okay, so now let's get to the temperatures. We're going to do that here next. So for tonight, seasonable. In the morning hours, we're going to be in the mid-30s. That's why I'm saying it's not a big deal for the snow at all. And as we head into the afternoon, you do see the colder air, though, moving on into northern Oklahoma and kind of slowly sagging into central Oklahoma by tomorrow evening. It's at 6 o'clock in the evening. So that Arctic air is kind of oozing in here. So we're going to be outdoors tomorrow evening. It's going to be a little chilly for you. In the 30s up here to the north. Now, this is just a little taste. This isn't even the real deal. This is just a preliminary, small little surface high. Wait till we get the big daddy that comes in here on Monday. But regardless, that cold air builds in overnight. For Sunday, it's going to be chilly as a result. We're looking at the 40s here in central Oklahoma for the most of the morning into the early afternoon. We might just hit the low 50s, so get a little bit of a rebound if things go well. And that little Arctic air kind of moves out of here into the east. And so we might get a nice Sunday afternoon as a result. The models have gone back and forth on that as to how much the atmosphere will recover. Typically, Arctic air is very shallow and doesn't like to mix out as much, and so the models overestimate how much warmer you can get. So still up in question. I can see it going both ways. If we split the difference, it's chilly morning and it's at least a cool afternoon. Let's leave it at that. All right, so let's look at the short term through the weekend. Now let's go on into next week, and then we're going to talk about the really cold stuff that comes in. So let's head on to Monday, and we'll start you there. So there's Monday morning. Not too bad. We're in the 30s. But the cold air comes in during the afternoon period. Sometimes the cold air comes in, these Arctic fronts, earlier than models predict. So by 6 o'clock, it's got it moving through in the Oklahoma City area and knocking on the door in Tulsa. It could easily be about 3 hours sooner than that. As we head into the evening hours, though, the cold air sags southward. It doesn't look all that impressive yet. This is by Tuesday morning into the upper 20s. You're thinking, well, that's not a big deal, Aaron. Right. I'll show you the wind chill, by the way, with those numbers. So let me go into Monday as well. So here's Monday evening. There's a wind chill value of 22 into the teens in the north. So it's going to have a little bite to it. Even though you might think those temperatures aren't that bad, you'll have to bundle up. The wind chill values will be into the teens. All right, now let's get into the rest of the week. I'm going to use the American model for that. By the way, I didn't want to do that. Why did I do that? Let's go back and do this. You can do it. Come on now. There we go. All right, so let's go into the extended to next week. I want to give you an idea. Let's get back on the actual air temperature, and then I'll show you the wind chills for next week. Keep in mind, as we get colder, prolonged, during this cold period, pipes are going to be a problem as far as freezing. Once temperatures get down around 15 degrees for an extended period of time, we start to get some pipe breakage. So just keep that in mind. And then also the rivers and creeks and streams and ponds and lakes will start to freeze on the edges, right? And the kids will want to go out there and play on it. I was once that way, and it's a dangerous thing to do because the ice won't be that thick. So for parents, just keep that in the back of your mind as it gets later in the week and the kids want to go out there and play. That might be an issue to deal with. Okay, so here's Tuesday morning. We're in the low 20s. As we head into the afternoon, we stay in the low 20s. We're in the teens and low 20s. So Tuesday's not a pleasant day. Here's Wednesday. Guess what? Not a pleasant day. Now, it looks like we might rebound a little bit. May even get close to freezing. during the day, but then more reinforcing cold air comes in. Here's Thursday morning. We're back into the low 20s and teens. And then during the day on Thursday, we're staying in the teens. More cold air keeps piling in here. Here's Friday morning. We're at single digits around the northern half of Oklahoma. So for the afternoon, we're in the teens. As we head into next Saturday morning, we're into the single digits again, close to 0 northeast Oklahoma. And Saturday afternoon, we're back into the 20s. And then, hey, we're back into the teens and single digits again by Sunday morning. There's Bartlesville at -1 degree in the morning, with Miami looks like around -4 over here. So that's quite chilly. As we head into, now we're going to Valentine's Day. This is Valentine's Day in the evening. Another surge of Arctic air. How can you tell? Look at the big difference here in this color contour right here. All right, that's the secondary push coming on in. With a dew point of 8 degrees, or excuse me, an actual air temperature of 8 degrees in Enid and 20 in Oklahoma City. So these Arctic fronts, man, they mean business. And anytime you get an Arctic front that replaces another, you can sometimes squeeze out a little bit of light snow. So anytime these little reinforcing shots come in, don't be surprised if the atmosphere is able to squeeze out some little tiny snow flurries out of it. Usually don't amount to anything, but just something you'll notice over the period. All right, so that cold air comes in, Valentine's Day. That's what I'm talking about. This is when that storm system should be moving overhead. And here's a temperature of 10 degrees, to 4 degrees in Enid, 2 in Ponca City. Now we're at Monday morning the 15th, 6 a.m. We're at 0 in Ponca City and Enid. So that is some cold stuff, my friends. Then we're back into the teens for the afternoon. Oh, glorious. Warm day that day, right? Then we head into Tuesday. Still more of the same. We'll keep going with time. I'm just going to keep hitting the button. Out here on the 18th, we've got -3 up here in the Woodward area. Keep going in the teens. There's some more single digits. I mean, the hits just keep on coming. We're going to go onward finally to the end of the forecast period on the 21st, and that's when that big storm system comes in. We're at 29 degrees here in Oklahoma City. Okay, now let's go to the storm system as far as ice, sleet, snow, rain, all that kind of stuff. Remember, we got the first one coming in on Saturday. I'm going to show you the rainfall totals on that here in just a second, by the way. I skipped past that a minute ago. But let me get to this long-term precipitation as far as when we might get some trouble. So like I mentioned earlier, you get these little reinforcing shots of cold air. You can squeeze out a little bit of light snow. So far, nothing huge there. I wanted to go into February. I wanted to go to Valentine's Day is what I wanted to do. Now remember, this is way out there, so this could change easily, but this is the 9 o'clock hour. And I wanted to hit the sounding. The models look like there's going to be a lot of snow, and I want to make sure, yeah, the profile is well cold enough for snow at that point in time. And then at the very end of the forecast period, let's see, this is on the 17th. Oh yeah, that's the other storm. Now it's got a mixed bag. You see this pink, and then you see this, the blue. The blue is snow, the pink is freezing rain. I'm going to click a sounding for the freezing rain. And see, we just have a warm nose right here, so it's actually going to be sleet. So sleet's not bad. You can drive on sleet, you can walk on sleet. It's not like freezing rain where it just coats it in a solid sheet of ice. Sleet's like those little pebbles that bounce around. So that's doable. So sleet here in the pink shading, blue here in the red, or excuse, snow in the blue shading. As we head on into, that's on the 17th. Let's go on to the 21st. And then here's that big system that comes in. That one looks like a pretty big one too, with a mixture of sleet and snow as well. So we'll see what happens long term with these storm systems. Remember, I've been telling you for a while that in the pattern that we're in, any one of these could turn into be a good storm, and we have the potential. The southern track of the jet stream's loaded with one system coming by after another, and we're even getting kind of a blend of the northern track with a couple of those coming by one after another. So one of these is bound to do something significant. By the way, the rainfall here this weekend, let me do that here real quick. I told you there's a lot to talk about. Let me hit you up with the high-res short-term model, and we'll hit the latest run on that. There. Okay. So we're looking at about a quarter to half inch of rain, most likely here in central Oklahoma. So some good rains, and this has actually come up a bit from prior runs. Some of these numbers even up closer to 3/4 of an inch. So keep in mind, if you want to put out some of that pre-emergent, now's the time to do it, and the rainfall will get it washed in for you. So there's your little tip if you want to get out there in the elements and do that for tomorrow morning as the rain starts to move in. Okay, let's see. Now let's get into this stuff here. Let me show you this. So on this is the, yeah, I want to, yeah, this is an ensemble run of the Canadian, which has a little bit of the sleet and rain signal here in Oklahoma. Tiny bit of a snow signal. Each of these panels have, there's a little bit of something. But that's a little different than the profile the other models had, which, by the way, I wanted to go back and look at that, and then we're going to continue back on what I was doing. Since this model just came in, I wanted to see what the data was on it. So let's do that real quick. All right, so it's got the nice rain band through here, central Oklahoma. Let me see what it does with the ice and snow potential, or sleet and snow potential rather. It keeps it all rain. That's smart play. Let's see what the sounding looks like. Sounding profile 40 over 37. Yeah, that's too warm, so that's just a cold rain. All right, good. Let's hope that jives with what I was going with. All right, now here's the other thing. On Monday morning, the other models aren't picking up on. So a lot of times when Arctic air does kind of come on in here, you do get a little thin band of some light freezing drizzle. All right, so there is a signal for that on Monday across the northern half of the state, possibly moving even into central Oklahoma during the evening hours. So it barely shows up, but that's one of the things I want to talk about here. And I think, is it this panel? Yeah, this is Monday morning. So it's going to be hard to see on your screen, but where you see this little light pink area, in each of these, there's one there, there's one there, barely one there. What that is just a signal for a little bit of light freezing rain and drizzle. So that is enough for bridges and overpasses to cause some slippery spots. So if you're driving around on Monday, just keep that in mind. Now the American model, I looked at this and some of its ensemble runs to see how many panels, how many runs of that same model think that we're going to get a winter storm on the Thursday, Friday time period. And there are actually quite a few in here that has that good strong signal, but it's still not quite congealed. In other words, it hasn't settled down yet. And this is on Friday morning, and there's still lots of panels here that have some type of snow in and around Oklahoma, Texas. So the good news is the signal's still there. It's showing up in more of the ensemble panels. So I think the confidence is going up. We're going to get something toward the end of next week is what I'm saying. Okay, so here's a look at the total snowfall in some of the ensemble models that we have for different, just all over the place. And they're actually going for a little bit of snow tomorrow morning, 1/4 of an inch. But I still think we're going to be, and there's only a couple of them. I mean, there's a ton of them on here, and only like a handful, 5 of them show it, 5 out of 50, something like that. So it's a very low probability. I don't even think that's going to happen. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to show you was about 5 of them do show a signal for some of that freezing drizzle on Monday. Just enough kind of coat the bridges and overpasses, just a very light, thin glaze. So that's starting to show up there. The ensemble version of the American model has got, again, I think the silly snow here for Saturday, 1 to 2 inches. Again, I'm throwing that out. But a lot of its members are starting to pick up. And it's only a couple of the members, but a lot of them are starting to pick up. See all these lines right here for snow in the latter part of the forecast period. So around the 11th and 12th is when these numbers come in for several inches potential on the table. Okay, temperatures. Gross. You saw me give you the 2-dimensional view of the whole map over the state. This is just picking Oklahoma City as a centroid point, but the trend is all the same statewide. So you can look here for the weekend, kind of up and down depending on where you live and the timing. But as we head into Monday, this is misleading. It says 60, that's like 60 at midnight, kind of a deal. We will fall, obviously, in the mid-afternoon. You might rebound briefly to a pleasant temperature before that front does arrive around lunchtime, but other than that, once that Arctic air starts moving, you'll feel it. Tuesday onward, we're daytime highs and struggling to get out of the teens sometimes, overnight lows struggling to stay above 0. So there's several mornings here where we're in the single digits and lower single digits at that from Tuesday all the way to February the 20th. So there's your long-term cold spell we've got here. Phew! Told you that was a lot. But you now know everything. There's not one thing you do not know. It took a while. For those that hung in there, now you know. Okay. Bethany, got notified nothing on the patron page. Yeah, there's something screwy going on with that. I'm going to have to jack with that again tonight. So thanks for letting me know, though. Let's see here. I think it's the same thing. Facebook keeps thinking I'm doing a marketplace ad. And it says this listing goes against our rules on subscriptions and digital products, commerce policies. I just think you guys are such idiots. I put it in a review for the other one. And it says, after like 72 hours, we'll review your request. I'm like, it's a live broadcast. It does no good. First world problems. Okay, so on the main page, we'll go there real quick. Hit the old mute button. Okay. All right, I can only go up so much in your comments. Where are all the comments? What in the world? Let me hit the refresh. By the way, at corner of my eye, I've seen a ton of you send me some stars tonight. I appreciate that. I try to give you a shout out as much as I can when I'm not, doing the all the map stuff. But I appreciate every single one of you that does that for me. All right, loading up the comments now. Give it a second. Come on, Facebook. You can do it. So I wrote a latest blog. You can read on my website, aarontuttle.weather.com. Also on my weather app, AT's Weather to Go. You can get the access to the blog then. And I talk about how I've got another social media platform you can join if you're getting frustrated with Facebook for any reason. And maybe you want to take a break and you want to try a different one. I've got it set up. And the reason why I picked it, and I give details in the blog, but it had the best of everything I'll offer. In other words, it kind of combines Facebook and Twitter and YouTube all in one. So it's a similar look and feel to what you guys normally interface with and like. So that's the reason why I chose it. So you can check out my blog to get details on that. Okay, is Facebook seriously not going to load my comments? All right, I'll look at the ones on my phone because on my computer it's being hokey. All right, let me scroll up as far as I can go. Okay, so Shane, you're funny. All right. Okay, I can see your comments now. Let's see. Checking in from Arkansas. Brandon. Yeah, buddy. It's going to be cold up in Arkansas. Kim's already saying it's too cold and more. Same thing with Paula. They're not ready for it. They can't handle it. Shane wants some ice, baby. What's that say? Okoboji? Now, I know I butchered that town name in Iowa, but Kathy's checking in from Okoboji. I don't know how you say that. Canadians are used to the really cold weather. Yeah, they may be used to it, but not minus 40 for a week. They don't like that. And then you have to throw in the wind chill on top of it. I'll ask Jody about that. Even they don't like that kind of stuff. Let's see. My cousin lived in Yellowknife and would walk to work every day in below zero temps. Nancy. Oh, it sounds brutal. Feel sorry for the cousin. Why can't we not get precip with that? Caroline. Oh, we're going to get a little precip. Are we in for severe weather tonight? No severe weather. Don't discount Eastern Oklahoma. We like snow too. We'll see. My name will be mud if it snows in Eastern Oklahoma tomorrow afternoon and actually sticks. My name will definitely be mud. I won't like that. I'll be very upset, just so you know. What day do we re-enter Earth and get decent temps? You can do that at the end of the month, Ron. Let's see, what else we got? I know it's crazy, Larry. Jeanette's not ready for the cold. I think I'm ready just because I like the taste of it. David says, Happy Meteorologist Day. Well, thanks, David. So yeah, today is Weather Person's Day, which I never know when that is until Twitter tells me because I see other people posting or commenting on it. And Jody sent me a nice tweet today for Happy Weather Person's Day. Let's see, keep going. I no longer get notified of Facebook. I do get notified by YouTube and never signed up for that, Carol. So that's a good point, Carol, and everybody else that you're not getting notifications for. Sign up for YouTube, my YouTube channel, and tap the bell to get notified. And you can do it also for Twitter and Periscope. The Twitter is the main thing. And they'll all notify you, and then you can watch via whatever platform you want. But at least that way you'll know. Okay. Georgianne is from Puerto Rico. She's definitely not ready for this cold stuff. I don't blame you. Beth is super late to the party. She's so late, she's asking about snow, and she's giving this face. I use that face a lot in real life. So anyway, a little bit of snow mixed in with the rain, I think, is that most we'll get. I don't think it'll accumulate. I think temperatures will be a little too warm. Some of the models are really excited about it, but I'm having a hard time buying it. I know I'm always ready for more snow, Hope, just so you know. I love the snow. So, sucks to be a garden supervisor at Home Depot for the next 3 weeks. Katina, are you a Home Depot garden supervisor? Hint, hint. Man, y'all miss some great weather, though, to kind of get prepared for the spring if you need to do some outdoor stuff. But we'll still have a couple of nice days squeezed in. I should say semi-nice days before the bottom drops out overall for different parts of the state. Okay, so I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. All right, I'm going to load my Twitter Periscope feed. If you guys watching there, if you had a real quick question, shoot it in the next 30 seconds, and I'll see if I can answer it. TV Harley on YouTube is late to the party. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so those of you folks that are so late, you missed a 20-minute forecast update because there was so much to talk about. The best way I can summarize it for you is cold tomorrow, a little bit of rain and snow mix, about half an inch of rain for some folks, especially in central Oklahoma. The snow should not, knock on wood, accumulate. Sunday's a mixed day. Western half of the state looks pretty decent, warm or mild, you might want to say it. Eastern half still trying to warm up. It'll be a struggle, but you might get into the upper 40s. If not, you'll be stuck in the upper 30s. Then on Monday afternoon, Arctic front number 1 moves in for the day, and with the wind chill values into the teens with it. And then we get progressively colder during the week with more reinforcing shots of cold air one after another. We do have a little bit of freezing drizzle with that first front on Monday. Any additional front throughout the week could squeeze out a little bit of light snow flurry activity. The next big signal for winter type precipitation, as far as anything that would accumulate for sleet and snow, for example, is a Thursday, Friday event, and then there are several after that show up in the data, and then we'll have to take those one at a time as we get closer. So there's you a very short recap version of all of that. Lisa's in the house with 200 stars. Thank you, Lisa, coming in here toward the end. And I see you, Jody, and I see you, Guillermo. Jody, double time. Who else we got? Jody again, triple time, quadruple time. She just keeps pressing that button. Andrea, Daisy on a 2-week streak. Thank you, ladies. Now, Jody, McNeil, did you throw me 50? She goes, I only have 150. I got to use them sparingly. So did you give me 50 tonight? Or did you give them to somebody else? What are you going to do with those stars of yours? All right. So that's enough goofing around for me. Listen, I'm going to have to run because I got some things to do. It's Friday night, right? We'll do this again tomorrow and Sunday and Monday, et cetera, et cetera. And each of these should be getting shorter in time because we're getting more into the pattern. It's just leading into the pattern. There's so much to cover. But as we start getting through it, a lot of it'll be old news. It'll already be here. And so there's less and less to talk about. So the broadcasts get a little shorter and shorter. If you don't like me being so long-winded, I get it. Also, if you can't watch it live, you can always go back post-live and just kind of drag your cursor through, whatever tickles your fancy, as my grandmother used to say. All right, well, I'm out. You guys have a great night. Thanks again for all the stars support. Use my weather app. It's great for winter weather. And visiting my website, aarontuttle.com. It's got a lot of stuff on there you might like in the weather data section for road closures, road conditions, radar, you name it, all kinds of stuff. So check that out too. And you guys have a great night. Sleep well. See ya.